Hello everybody, you join me in a very cold workshop. We had a little bit of an icy blast in the UK, and today's actually a lot warmer than it was yesterday, and that's thanks to about 3.5 inches of snow, which is causing a certain amount of disruption. It's quite a lot of snow for the south of England. Anyway, if you are a member of any of the Facebook, YouTube machinist groups, you might have seen the pictures I posted up of a little eBay score, and it's a power drawbar attachment. I think the top end's basically kind of universal to fit all sorts of Bridgeport style milling machines, and I wasn't familiar with the design of it, but a bit of research quickly alerted me to the fact that it's probably a Kurt unit. This is the top cover. As you can see, it's completely devoid of any markings, but the impact wrench inside is a Chicago pneumatic wrench, and that, I believe, is what the Kurt use, and certainly the design appears to be identical to the Kurt. And these are a little bit more elegant, or possibly over-engineered, depending on your point of view, than the usual DIY versions, in that the air cylinder is a concentric design. So this is the lower body, and that bolts directly to the adapter plate that allows you to mount the unit on top of the mill. So this is your main cylinder, and you can see the surface in there looks reasonably good. There's an O-ring at the top here, 2 guide rods, and there's your air inlet. And then the piston, which judging by the sprue here, is a casting. There's your other O-ring, your guide surface, and then the top end's slotted to act as a clamp. So those two just go together like so. So that's your air cylinder, and you'd have a spring on there and a clamp band which performs several functions. One, it keeps the spring compressed, which gives you your return action. It runs on the guide rails, and it clamps the collet kind of arrangement here against the body of the impact wrench. Now, the impact wrench is modified, but in a more complicated, but again possibly more elegant way than usual. I've seen these sort of things, the valve plate taken off and replaced with a pair of air inlets so you can drive it in and forward and reverse with 2 different airlines. This block, and I'm not going to take this block apart, actually contains a cross passage and 2 passages in this direction. Each one of those passages contains a plunger which activates the plunger in the wrench so that your air supply still comes in through the main port, and then the forward and reverse runs are done by little pneumatic cylinders. And in the middle of this thing is a valve that shuttles to one side or the other depending on which of these 2 inlets is energized to cause it to run, and then the third one goes down to the air cylinder. Now, since this all seems to be in working order, albeit perhaps in need of a clean and a service, I'm going to leave it alone. I might, just for the hell of it, try and create a second one based around one of these generic. I'm sure lots of people in the UK are familiar with the Rolson budget brand. I've had reasonable luck with Rolson stuff, bought at various shows. Not top quality, but it usually does the job. Different style of valve body. In fact, this is the style of valve body that often this section gets removed, a new top plate put on, and this assembly mounted remotely, and you can just see the end of the plunger there. Let's bring it up. So you can see one plunger and the other, and often this arrangement is what gets mounted on the mill. So maybe we'll have a look at that later. The other thing I discovered quite rapidly was it doesn't use a standard hex drive onto the drawbar. Instead it uses a special drawbar. So here's the drawbar nut, and this appears to be barely any wear on it, and is obviously not a conventional drive. And I can get a drawbar for about £50 to fit this, but I just had it in the back of my mind something that might work, and I remembered that in a drawer in my workshop I had a tool I bought to work on a diesel Mondeo, and that's this big Torx bit, and indeed the two fit together with a sensible amount of play. And just in case anyone's interested, that's a T70 Torx bit, so there's the possibility of removing the Torx from this holder and integrating the whole lot into a new drawbar. This is not a priority project in any way, because I haven't got any air in the machine shop as such, and I've yet to complete the shop air project. I'm still working on the acoustic enclosure for the compressor, so we'll wait a while for that, but I just thought it'd be interesting to show you one of these Kurtz drawbar units. Don't think I've seen anyone else stripping one down, but I'm just about to quit the workshop because it really is far too cold out here. All the metal's cold soaked, and even with gloves I'm starting to lose all the feeling in my hands. So we'll see you all next time. Just thought I'd give you a quick shot of the snow situation. It's my kitchen door, and as we come down the side passage you can see that there's 3, maybe 4 inches of snow on the picnic table, and there's the path up to my workshop. It is still snowing. It's been snowing more or less continuously in various intensities certainly since 7 o'clock this morning, which is when I woke up to find there was a couple of inches already down. But it is thawing as well. So my mother's due to go on holiday tomorrow, and hopefully she will be able to get to the airport. I imagine so. It's all going to be major roads. Anyway, I'm going inside. It's too cold.